Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today we got the official launch trailer for the Edge of Fate and Destiny 2, as well as a live stream, which I want to talk about a little bit at the end of this trailer, but I haven't seen a lot of it, just a bit of a recap, so I'm going to go over everything that I know so far, and also talk about my excitement levels for this new expansion. I think overall sentiment with the game right now is pretty low, but I understand that and personally disagree for reasons I'll explain in a little bit. Anyway, let's check out the trailer together and then go from there. Well, this is very un-Destiny-like, which I'm a fan of, by the way. I do like them taking it in a different direction. Feels like the game's needed to shake up narratively for quite some time, now that we're past the main story.
You've never been there.
For the final shape.
And you know every inch of it. It's the farthest either of us have been from home.
Yo, the flying falling is so crazy.
You're gonna get a call. An invitation.
These movement mechanics could be great or could be annoying.
And you'll say yes. They arranged it so you would never say no. Choice is real.
Yo, that Titan exotic that you recall the hammer is so sick.
Every choice you make will lead you here. To who you're supposed to be.
In my opinion, they do a great job with these trailers. That's a raid, I think. So before watching the trailer, someone said that looks like the Remedy verse from the Remedy developers, the game Control, FPC Firebreak. Those are included in that, and so I can kind of definitely see that for sure. Yeah, this is the pre-order bonus, which I think is pretty sick. I've been rocking the Darth Vader Titan outfit for the entire time that I've had it since I pre-ordered the Edge of Fate. I know some people are talking about returning their pre-orders, which I do understand. This Ultimate Edition does include, obviously, these with the rebooted No Land Beyond, the exotics here, or the armor here, ornaments, as well as this Ghost Shell emote, all that kind of good stuff. Edge of Fate available $7.15. You can buy that as a standalone. You can also get Renegades as a standalone too. That's going to be a more Star Wars-esque type of expansion. We also get a free update in 3 months after Edge of Fate drops as well. So anyway, real quick, let's go through. This is the raid location right here. That's a good one. I feel like this is kind of similar, though, to what we saw with the final shape and the Witness. So that's the only reason it's not as like kind of spooky. I do like this storytelling that they're doing with a bit more time travel-esque ideas behind it. It does feel like this is going to be a 9 themed raid, which is our first one, and is kind of insane. Probably going to be similar in the aesthetics to Prophecy, the dungeon, I would imagine. We see here some pretty interesting armor sets as well. Overall, first sneak peek, but that's probably all we're going to get before the raid does fully launch. I did like this overall. I feel like this is a very big tonal shift, but again, I think they need to take more chances with the game as a whole, not only narratively speaking, but also new types of content to play, which is a big part of the problem people have right now. So going back to why I'm still pretty excited about this update, even though I understand why people are down on it. First and foremost, I feel like we've needed an armor and general refresh for quite some time. The new armor bonuses specifically are what has me really, really excited. I haven't looked forward to an armor drop in years now. And so now finally we can have new armor to kind of hunt for. And when you get an armor drop, you're not going to feel like it was a waste. And I think that's good in general. I do understand people who are frustrated. Their stuff is getting pretty much soft sunset. But for me, I think it is a necessary evil to move the game forward. Same thing with some of the other changes that we're seeing. Stasis is getting an adjustment so you can't stun unstops, which again, I know people are upset about, but being able to bring a Riptide into a Grandmaster and it stuns every type of champions, essentially, was a bit insane. So I feel like that's one that had to be done, unfortunately. And there's changes like that. There are certain things in live service games where you need to essentially rip the Band-Aid off and get rid of the problems that you have. And it's not going to feel great, but I do think it's necessary. And so the major problem with this update is the fact that people feel like it's going to be light on content, which I fully understand. It's $40 for this expansion. Obviously, you'll get a bunch of free changes that are happening, some kind of ritual playlist updates that I think are good that they talked about in the stream today. And they showed off some old content, which people were not very thrilled with. But I think that's good. I think having old content to go back to that has gotten a bit of a refresh is a good thing, so long as it's accompanied by enough new content. And that is where people are on the fence right now and not sure if there's going to be enough here, because we do have a raid coming. We have a new location, Kepler. Kepler is not going to have lost sectors or anything like that, which again, people are upset by. It was previously mentioned that there's going to be no new strikes. However, it does seem like we get something similar with these missions as well. So that might not necessarily be the case. And however long they are will kind of, and how repeatable they are will dictate how good this DLC ultimately is. I personally feel like it's going to be worthwhile for me because I know I'm going to be playing Destiny for the next year, whether it's off and on or consistently, and having access to this content will feel better than not. I know not everyone's in that same boat, and I fully understand it. The concerns that I personally have are Kepler using all these additional Matter Spark, Matter Weave, all of that. Whether that's more annoying than interesting, that's something that I'm not sure how that's going to ultimately go. They could have full sunset my gear. I would not have cared. I am looking forward to using the new stuff. I don't care about using old stuff anymore. We've had it for so long. I think that's part of the reason I wasn't as excited about Rite of the Nine, though, is that knowing the changes that were coming, it just led me to not want to chase any of that loot that I didn't really necessarily need. And so because of that, I'm just not really too stoked about that. Same thing with the sunsetting or the resetting of the viable weapons every season, where you have certain weapons that get the new weapon bonus, certain exotics that get that bonus as well to overall damage. I kind of understand complaints about that and why people might be a bit more hesitant to engage and embrace that kind of content. But for me, I think it's, again, a necessary evil in order to encourage people to use the new stuff without making it so broken. Like, you could make it exactly the same strength as it is right now in the game, right? And people would feel like they don't have to chase it because they already have all these builds. They already have their loadouts. They already have all these really good weapons. So there's not really a way to make new stuff viable without introducing a level of power creep that is hard to control. That's where the game has gotten out of hand, in my opinion. Recently, the power creep has gotten crazy. And so because of that, they've had to change up the way they deliver content as well. It is not always as exciting and engaging. It's not very difficult at times. And so this is one of the ways to combat that, even if it's not a perfect solution. And so, again, while I understand the complaints, I disagree with them personally. I think this trailer was pretty hyped. I think some of the new weapons we're getting look very interesting. The new exotics look pretty nice as well. I think overall, I'm really excited to personally jump in, even if I'm still going to have some doubts and some questions. I don't know if it's going to be enough to satisfy people over the foreseeable future. And that's one of the dangers of a game like this is Destiny 2 is at its best when you are playing with friends, you have a full fire team, matchmaking is really quick. When that's not happening, overall the game of Destiny does not feel as much fun. And I think that's one of the major problems they're struggling with right now is as everyone moves on to other games, even if it's between big updates, it does feel like it's hard to get a crew together to do any of the fun activities that you might want to do. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the trailer and the live stream today in the comments down below. Like the video as always, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.